my sack! Get in it!
Let's get on with it. 3, 2, 1, we're almost ready. Are you ready? Go, go, go! Green, and away we go. Summer Series 25 drivers streaming down into turn 1, and already Wilco looks like he's got the jump on Albert and takes the lead, but Albert is not done with yet. He's going to go around the sexy Rexy, yibbida, folks, down there in 4th, and all the while this is giving Wilco the chance to pull out in front. Themselves up here in the opening lap, but Bob, it's been hectic, but not quite as hectic as what I thought it would be. Down the inside of Sideways, is it going to work, Bob, or is it going to end in tears? I think it's come off. Yes, it has. and it's Wilco with a nose in front as we come through to complete the lap. Sidorg, our winner from last week and championship leader, King in there as well. And don't tell me Wilco could have gone from first to third in a matter of corners here, Bob. I reckon he's lost the lead and he could be down to third by the end of the opening lap. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're watching right around the world. We're back for 2024 here on the Kid Bias Twitch channel, and you join us for the road to the Bathurst. 8 hours, of course, kicking off kicking off tonight, I should say, the road to Bathurst, as we see the cars come out onto the circuit for the first time. But we're building up to the big one, the 8 hours of Bathurst, of course, on March the 1st and 2nd. But before then, this is one of the practice races as we continue to build up to the big one in March, like I said. And now, this is our first stream of the year. I'm going to get straight into it and welcome my co-commentator back for the first time in season 2024. He's fresh off his birthday stream, of course, last night, which went off, which was fantastic. If you missed out on it, just jump across to his channel and check it out. And this man, of course, is the kind of guy who likes to play Jenga with Stonehenge, of course. I speak of none other than Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris, Happy New Year and welcome back.
Happy New Year, Travis. Good to be back. I've been eagerly waiting to be going live here on your channel. It's going to be a good one. This is the road to the Bathurst 8 hour on the first weekend of March, and Wilco's son is listed as the safety car, which is an interesting one. But no, this is going to be good. We've got a short 20-minute qualifying here before we get into a 60-minute race. So looking forward to seeing these times start to come in soon, Trav.
Cannot wait for that. And look at the turnout, if you don't mind. There's so many. They're off my screen here, Chuck Norris. 35 drivers here tonight. A massive, massive turnout. And boy, we've got, what do we got, about 6 or 7 weeks. It's going to be a huge event on March the 1st, isn't it, Chuck Norris? The 8 hours. I think the maximum we've done is 6 hours, of course, in the commentary box. You and I, but 8 hours, it's going to be a massive, massive event, and we could have some big names along for the ride this year as well. But we see all of the cars out on the circuit, I think, Prince, apart from a couple of them, looking to get that all-important banker lap on the board nice and early here.
Yeah, absolutely. Bathurst is one of them tricky tracks that, you know, even though you've got 20 minutes on that clock, it is just over a 2-minute lap, and it's very easy to invalidate it here, Trev. But I just want to kind of touch on a couple of names here. Obviously, we've got a lot of familiar favourites here, but I see a couple of new names. We've got Hammer 7782, Stone Harbour. I believe Smitty might be a new name as well. But yeah, there's a couple of fresh faces here on the grid, and this is one of the build-up events before we get in to the Oz New Zealand PS5 Endurance Series Season 2, which I'm looking forward to that kicking off as well. But build-up events go just as hard as the normal series, don't they, Trev?
Absolutely fantastic. We're back to do it all over again in 2024, of course. Big shout out to Chuck, not Chuck, your Chuck, Seabucks 77, who followed the channel and joined a very exclusive club, Chuck Norris, 32 minutes ago, along with Get In My Sack, which is actually a sound effect there on my Twitch activity. Axe Wound Pounder. That's an interesting name. He also is the latest follower to the family, Chuck. They are coming in thick and fast there. And let me tell you, big shout out to everyone. And Wilco, subscribe for 1 month. Resubscribe for 1 month, I should say, at Tier 1, 13 months. Social Race, he's up and about. And yourself, Prince, 12 months as well. Flowers and chocolates. We can do dinner at KFC and a large zinger box for the both of us there. But boy, they are absolutely. And Dinky Donk has joined us. One of the beloved regulars on your channel, Prince, is with us as well tonight.
Yeah, it's good to see Chris here, and he's bringing the memes with him as well, Trev, by the looks of things. He loves spamming his emotes. He's got a whole art gallery worth of them. I'm sure you'll see quite a few of them very soon. But these times, Trev, they're starting to come in. The safety car is leading our drivers away with a 202.540. So safety car setting the pace nice and early.
Certainly is, if you don't mind. And back to side org, it is 0.012 Chuck Norris. So absolutely nothing coat of varnish between those two here at the moment. The safety car of Jason Wilkinson is leading the way. Then it's Naughty Norman there in third. Sofa King and Sniper, and it is very, very close down the order. Mac Miller there in sixth. Someone awesome. Shawnee Fuller, Captain Planet. He's and there's a big bit of action going on there. I saw a couple of cars facing the wrong way, and I think Captain Planet joined that at just the wrong time, but he's gone back to the pits there. Chuck Norris, Megan Markle, of course, Mark Ledwich, a familiar face as Will Star. That is hot
Ooh.
Pace there, Prince. A 201.792 with 14 minutes to go in the session. Will Star jumps to the top of the timing sheets with his own lap of the gods here.
Yeah, so we're breaking into the 201s, and Kilroy as well. He just missed out on getting into the 201s, but the Mercedes and the Aston seems to be stretching their legs here, which is quite familiar here. And yeah, these times, Trev, they're going to keep on tumbling. We've still got 13 and a half minutes on the clock, so looking forward to seeing if they can start creeping a little bit closer to the low 201s, but you're going to have to wait and see. And
Kilroy as well is up there as well, just 0.3 of a second off of Will Star's time. And our man with us alongside me in the commentary box tonight, Chuck Norris, he's got a diary. He likes to keep a diary. It's actually called the Guinness Book of World Records. That's how good the man alongside me is. But let's talk format for tonight, Chuck. It is GT3 cars only. All drivers welcome to have a run. Even invite some of your friends if you want to. And the lobby will GT4s, blah, blah, blah. You know how it goes. And we are kicking off 20 minutes of qualifying, a 1 hour race. Mandatory pit stops for tyres, Chuck Norris, a full formation lap, and no safety car for tonight, despite Wilco having the name safety car. No safety car for tonight, so guaranteed carnage usually.
Yeah, so we've already seen one brief car park just after Skyline at the top of the mountain. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that nothing like that happens during the race and these drivers kind of steady out a little bit. Obviously, naturally, they are pushing their hardest to try and get a good lap in here during qualifying. So I assume they'll be kind of leaving a little bit on the table during the race. So fingers crossed, Trev.
And let's keep an eye on this man. Speaking of pushing hard, he certainly is doing that. Simon Bishop there, what can he do? And I think Kilroy might have gone even quicker there, Prince. Just a B's reproductive between first and second. Here comes Sidorg down Conrod Straight. We might stick with this for the time being, down Conrod Straight. What a circuit here, Chuck Norris. 6.21 kilometres. Conrod Straight, of course, being 1.9 kilometres on its own. Down to the chase. Very important to get your braking right here. Don't want to go in with too much mustard on it, do you, Chuck, as we head down to Murray's Corner. Pushing harder than a nun in childbirth, says Dinky Donk. Not sure we can say that here on the Eastern States at this time zone. But let's have a look at Simon Bishop. I've got a good feeling about this lap. Oh, it's so close at the top. You can't put a cigarette paper between them, but it's still not enough to beat that safety car now, who's sitting on a 2:01.722, Chuck.
Yeah, there is absolutely nothing between it. We've got just over a tenth between the top 4 drivers, and I've got a feeling there's going to be a lot of other drivers creeping close to that, but we're looking a little bit further down the order here. Zest 1 still yet to put in a valid lap here, so he's still got just under 11 minutes now on the clock. Hopefully he can get that time in, but time is crunching down and you don't want to be missing out on getting a lap in.
You certainly don't. Zest, one of the, he's the only one of the 35 drivers competing tonight here in this race, the Road to Bathurst. And it sounds like a new Netflix series. We'll be sticking with it here all of January, all of February. Oh, Zest! And that had a little bit of spice on that one. Very zesty indeed. He is not leaving anything on the table going across the mountain here.
Yeah, definitely not. And the run through McPhillamy Park is a treacherous one, and he's doing his very best. He's going for the run into Skyline now. I'm a little bit delayed, so please bear with me, chat. But he's looking like he's on a good lap here. Hopefully that tap that he had on the wall there didn't cost him too much time, but it will be good to see him get a time onto the board, hopefully.
Well, he's got important Nick just ahead of him. I don't think this is a particularly bad place to come up on some traffic. I think Nick's got a little bit of time on him there. Zest, is he easing off there a bit, Wilco? Well, you're not Wilco, are you, Chuck? I mean,
can be.
Oh, anyway, yeah. So I'm going to act real serious now. I'm Jason. Yeah, everyone. So well, you know how he talks. But through the chase, here we go up towards Murray's Corner. I don't think Nick's going to be in his way. We're going to just stick with this. And then we're going to get back to the sharp end of things. Less than 10 minutes remaining in this session now. How good is it to be back in 2024, Chuck Norris? As where does that put my man Zesty? Zesty, where are you? Up to 7th, a second off the pace. As that safety car's gone even quicker. It was a 2:01.7 when I last checked it. And I'm that excited I've kicked into a Kiwi accent. It's a 2:01.4 now, Chuck.
Yeah, I think this is the fastest I've ever seen a safety car make their way around Mount Panorama. It's a tricky circuit, and this safety car seems to be navigating it quite well. And, you know, I don't want to give a plug for the Wilco Coaching Academy, Trev, but seems to be showing its goods here.
Well, let's just wait and see about that. Oh, yellow flag's out for something. Someone awesome now on our screens. Down through the gears. Over the top of the hill, back down again, Skyline, the S's, the Dipper, Forest Elbow. We are 174 metres. No, we're at 962 metres above sea level. Oh, and someone awesome has gone into the wall at coming out of Forest Elbow there, and it looks like he's done for this lap, Prince.
Yeah, so I think he's going to have a little bit too much damage on the car to kind of warrant continuing, where he can do the teleport back to pit lane, which you can't do in real life, but he can teleport back to the pit lane and get out for one more quick stint before the end of qualifying. As I believe we see Jimbo and I can't remember the other person's name as they're making their way out of pit lane to do one final run here.
Jimbo and Jackery's there, I think, Sniper, and boy, it's all about timing, isn't it? And there's our man Jimbo. And in that jazzy looking purple there, the number 91 Audi, always a favourite of ours. Jimbo, of course, was playing a bit of Battlefield with him the other night, and he is a top bloke. And Wilco just chiming in saying, man, this Macca setup is insane. And he sounds like a man who's dialed in with his car. The balance sounds pretty good from Wilco's perspective. And Dinky Donk says he's glued to his seat like he's been involved in an adhesive shipment bulk accident. And he's in a bit of a sticky situation at the moment. And he says, fire that man in the safety car because that safety car is too unsafe, Nigerian Prince.
Yeah, I don't think the safety car is too safe, but at the end of the day, all these drivers, or I would say at least the majority of these drivers, will be participating in the Bathurst 8 Hour on the first weekend of March. So Wilco not leaving anything off the table here is kind of showing all of his cards straight away. So I got a feeling there's going to be a couple of teams going to the drawing board after this race here tonight. And they might be trying to play around with the setup in the lead up to the Bathurst 8 Hour.
And they're going to tweak a few things, of course. They've got 5 or 6 weeks before the big race. And the race that's going to stop the nation, certainly stop everything for us, of course, because 8 hours together in the commentary box. That's just a regular stream for Chuck Norris, of course. Check out his birthday stream yesterday. It went off, Prince. Tell me about it. It was kept waking up and just checking it out. And boy, it was absolutely fantastic. As Kilroy, 2:01.2. How much quicker can these boys go here tonight and girls?
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to be seeing these 2-minute flats, Trev. It's creeping closer and closer to that territory, so I wonder if we're going to start seeing these 2-minute flats roll in. It's pretty godsend of a lap to get a 2-minute flat, but if we see it, I'll be happy. It's going to be a killer one. It's
going to be absolutely... Can we get into the two-minute noodle flats? We'll wait and see there. Wilco says, I've been testing the bop in the GT4s. Mac gave me a ripper setup. Don't know how it goes over a few laps. Scary down the hill. And you can see there just how scary it looks for Kilroy, our man on provisional pole position. The safety car and side org can't get anywhere near him. Willstar, of course, was on provisional pole a little bit earlier on. Kilroy as well, 26 kgs for the Aston, says Wilco. And less than 5 minutes remaining. Who are some of the movers and shakers here? Prince Zest, of course. We saw his first lap of the qualifying session. He's now up to 6th place on the 3rd row of the grid effectively here at the moment.
Yeah, he's doing really well. He was struggling to get a qualifying lap in and, in that first 10 minutes, but everything's starting to kind of fall into place for him here. So hopefully he can start creeping a little bit closer because not too far behind him, he's got Machine, who I believe is going to be parking in a pit lane for the rest of qualifying.
So that could be match in 193 done for the rest of this session, we assume. Sofa King and Side Org alongside each other there, or not alongside each other, sort of one in front of the other there, down Conrod Straight. We'll start just ahead of them. Are they getting just everything up to temperature, getting everything all sussed out? Are they, Prince, before one final run at it here, or do you reckon there might potentially be a couple of runs left in the last 4 minutes?
Oh, most people only get 2 more laps. There's a couple of people that aren't on valid laps at the moment. They should get 2 more laps before the end of qualifying here. But yeah, it's creeping closer and closer. But throughout that midfield, Trev, you look at those times, and there is not much between everybody in that midfield.
Just thousandths of a second, not even tenths between them, Prince. Look at that, Zest compared to Machin, and then 1.2, 1.2, 1.5, 1.6. And 3, 1.6 there, and how close it is. And we've got another follower. Look at this. Ding, 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 because Water Arrow 7 is now following the channel, Prince. I might be getting to 300 a little bit quicker than what I thought, but how good is that? Water Arrow now part of the family here.
Yeah, welcome to the family, Water Arrow. And while we're on this topic, Trev, I just want to remind you guys out there, if you want to become part of this family here that we have at KRL, please be sure to hit that follow button. We greatly appreciate it. Trev's on his way to 300, and you can be one of those lucky numbers to help him get there.
300. That's it's becoming a reality. Thank you, Water Arrow 7. Oh my goodness! Wow, and Sisis is now following. My goodness, what's happening here, Prince? Let me just get my bearings because we've got 288 followers. How many's that tonight? I think that's 4 or 5 as my little counter goes ding, 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 to let me know we've got another follower, Prince. But we need to keep track of the on-track action here, Chuck Norris. But thank you to Water Arrow who has followed us along with Axe Pounder. And that sounds painful, doesn't it? And Chuck Seabucks 77, not sure why that looks so much like Chuck to me on the Twitter activity, but 288, it is going off, Andrelli, that's for sure. And we are on board with Willstar here. It appears that Kilroy is in the pits. So here comes Willstar. He finishes his final run, and he's 4/10, so third row of the grid. He's back in the pits. Sidor comes across the line. It might be to start his final lap, I reckon, Chuck Norris, by the looks of it. Oh, Nismo Nath running wide there through turn 1. That's not going to do him any favours there. The boss of Hooncorp. Everybody, make sure you've got everything in order, because the boss of Hooncorp Esports is with us, of course. And 16 people watching. If you're out there lurking, please consider following the stream, because not only tonight, Chuck, but we've got plenty of action leading up to the big 8 hours of Bathurst, of course, as part of the Australia-New Zealand Endurance Series on March the 1st. Nismo there, and Sidorg having a moment too, coming across the top of the mountain there. I wonder if Nismo to the side of the track might have just put him off slightly, Chuck.
Yeah, might have put him off slightly there, but yeah, Nismo Nath, unfortunately, he had that real average run through T1, went a little bit wide there, cost himself a little bit of time, and then I believe it's the cutting that he ended up making a mistake and ending up in the wall there. So very unfortunate for Nismo Nath to end his lap like that, as Sidorg's in the fence now as well, Trev.
Yep, full centre. He went into the wall there. And probably can't say that, but we say a lot of things that we probably can't say. And the reason for that, Chuck Norris, is because we love racing, we love sim racing, we love what we do, we love the viewers, we love everybody out there. And sometimes we might push the boundaries, but it's done with our very best intentions in mind, as Tadonky Donk Dinky Donk there. And hype. He's getting the hype.
Donkey Donk.
The Dinky Donk. He's getting the hype emojis. Oh, and the Wilco is off as well. So who does that leave? Sidorg back into the pits. Someone awesome. Who have we got? Sofa King comes across the line. Goes up to 5th. Magnificent effort. Nick is back in the pits. Naughty Norman Price. The naughty kid out of Fireman Sam. For anyone who's old enough to remember that show. Norman! And here he comes through the final corner, Murray's corner, and out of it. Believe it or not, here he comes across the line. What's it going to be, please? He stays 12th. What's Super VT? Down in P35. Who else have we got out there at the moment? Yes! Yes! And fantastic 9 months. And I'm going to be rushing Rain of Fire off to the emergency room, Chuck Norris, because he's about to give birth. And we know all about having kids, if you know what I mean. And boy, how good is that? It's baby time. Push, push, push is going to take on a whole different meaning to Rain of Fire, Chuck Norris, as we see the end of this qualifying session. Take a breath, kit buyers, if you don't mind, because, Chuck, we can't actually see that, can we? So we're going to jump in now and have a look. Kilroy with a stonking lap look at 201.197. Thank you, Martin Brundle. But to the safety car in P2, and then it's Willstar Sidorg. We might go to the timetables, Chuck Norris, and get a look at these times. Quickest in Sector 1 for Kilroy, and then it was Willstar in P3 there, quickest in Sector 2, and Kilroy getting the quickest last sector. But that is our grid, done and dusted. And we've got an Aston on pole position, Chuck. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, so it's very interesting to see the Aston on pole position here, but I just want to draw everybody's attention. Next to the Delta bar, you'll see we've actually introduced BOP, and thankfully we can add negative BOP now. So all the cars are being worked off of by Low Fuel Motorsports based on the PC, and their BOP is quite accurate in terms of evening out the majority of these cars. So you'll see some cars have got negative kilos in the car, and you'll see some cars have got added kilos as well. So You know, they bring different challenges with the ballast, but it's good to see the even playing field and every car being driven here. So it's good to see.
Great stuff there. Chuck Norris, multiple KRL champion, multiple everything champion. And that's why I'm a commentator, because I'm not the world champion. And who could forget that famous moment between Johnny Herbert and Fernando Alonso back in the day. But we've got a couple of minutes to go. We've got a full formation lap here, ladies and gentlemen, before we kick off with the 1 hour race here at the famous Mount Panorama circuit. Big shout out to everyone joining us. 18 people along for the stream. Rain of Fire's in the emergency room about to give birth. And look at the new followers. Fices has followed. Water Arrow, the big axe pounding unit there as well. Seabuck 77 and everybody else who's jumped on the hype train. We're going to go to a short break, Nigerian Prince. And Rain of Fire saying that safety car is bloody quick. And Wilco just not having time, of course, to jump in there. He's only had a couple of weeks to jump in there, but he hasn't managed to do that. And so he will be the safety car by name, not hopefully the safety car by nature, because we don't have a safety car tonight, Chuck. And there we go, explaining it to Rain of Fire. We're going to go to a short break. I'm going to stop crapping on for a couple of minutes, and we'll be back with the big one. It's the road to Bathurst. You can see it there. Who will be the king of Mount Panorama tonight? We'll find out in just a few moments. Stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Come on, let's get on with it. 3, 2, 1. We're almost ready. Are you ready? Go, go, go! Green, and away we go. Summer Series 25 drivers streaming down into turn 1, and already Wilco looks like he's got the jump on Albert and takes the lead, but Albert is not done with yet. He's going to go around the Sexy Rexy, yibbida, folks, down there in 4th, and all the while this is giving Wilco the chance to pull out in front. Themselves up here in the opening lap, but Bob, it's been hectic, but not quite as hectic as what I thought it would be. Down the inside of Sideways, is it going to work, Bob, or is it going to end in tears? I think it's come off. Yes, it has. And it's Wilco with a nose in front as we come through to complete the lap. Sideorg, our winner from last week and championship leader, King in there as well. And don't tell me Wilco could have gone from 1st to 3rd in a matter of corners here, Bob. I reckon he's lost the lead, and he could be down to 3rd by the end of the opening lap.
Sack! Get in him!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, here we are on the formation lap here, and Rain of Fire. He's just given birth after 9 months. Somebody has been getting into that sack, that's for sure. And what about you, Chuck Norris? Just adding the sneaky extra sound effect there, of course. Great stuff. Oh, hello, there's that... There's those baked beans I had a little bit earlier on. But Rain of Fire getting amongst it. And you should be too, ladies and gentlemen. 18 people watching the stream. And Kilroy, Aston Martin on pole position. Then we've got a bit of a mix here. A little bit of mixed Chinese noodles, number 15, if you don't mind. Mixed beef and braised beef and onion pork. Because safety car is 2nd. Sideorg 3rd. So we've got, what do we got? 6 manufacturers. 5 in the top, what do we got here in the top 6, Prince? So a little bit of variety, which of course is the spice of life. We don't mind seeing that, do we?
Yeah, I do love seeing a bit of variety and a bit of mixture on the grid as well. And I'm sure once these drivers start to kind of figure out that the BOP is going to favour each and every different car, and you know, it kind of evens things out. It's more just your driver skill level, I believe, once you've kind of got the BOP slapped on the car. So good diversity and a good grid here. So Kilroy, as you said, Trev, leading us off with the Aston, but how good is this these graphics, Trev? I love this like transition as it's starting to kind of go to that early morning. It just feels like the real life Bathurst 1000 here.
It's got a feeling to it. It's a special place. And who's ready? Works We Now, Andrelli. Great stuff, Rain of Fire. You can see them just warming their brakes, wheels and tyres down Conrod Straight. First time we're doing a stream here on this channel, of course, for 2024. And we're hoping to bring the entertainment, the energy. And Will I Am says he forgot to press start. So it's already gone tits up for Will I Am, and that is devastating for him. Because what does that mean for him now, Chuck? Does he have to do a start in the pit lane?
Yeah, so he'll unfortunately have to start in pit lane. So I believe once it goes green, he'll be able to click drive, and I think there might be like a 1 minute countdown timer before he can get released from pit lane. So hopefully the stewards don't hold him there for too long and they can release him so he can get amongst the grid.
So Will I Am in the pits, unfortunate. Last to first challenge. Controls are locked until we go green. Just looking at Super VT down there at the back of the field. We're going to go to the business end though, because we're just about ready to get underway for this. I don't want to call it a practice race because we've got 35 drivers here and it means much more than that. It's not just a practice race. Every lap counts, every corner counts here at Mount Panorama. Who's going to conquer the mountain tonight? We're going to find out in a couple of seconds' time. Kilroy and Wilco alongside each other. Wilco, of course, the safety car by name, not by nature, hopefully tonight. But we're almost ready to go green here at Mount Panorama tonight. First race, first stream on the channel. Who's ready? We are in the commentary box and we hope you are too. And it is go, 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 and it looks like Wilco gets the jump on Kilroy as they all stream through turn one, side by side, 35 cars. Are they all going to get away cleanly? And Super VT at the back getting away cleanly. Not a bad start as we head down Mountain Straight for the first time. And they're side by side, Wilco and Kilroy, but it looks like Kilroy's got his nose in front as we head towards Griffin's Bend for the first time here on the opening lap. Wilco this way, that way, the inside turning to the outside now as we head up the mountain for the first time. Sideorg has front row seats to this. And boy, this game, haven't even turned it on, says Andrelli. Wish I was in it. Look at this. 35 cars going across the mountain for the first time. Careful, fellas. Guys and girls, please be careful. We don't want to graze those cars coming across the mountain for the first time. But look at this yellow flag for something. I think that might be Will I Am in the pit lane. There's something else going on at the back. Most people getting away cleanly though, Prince.
Yeah, so very nice clean start. Nice too wide by the safety car and Kilroy at the start there. But I do believe there was a little bit of a car park there at the cutting on the opening lap. I think I haven't seen the replay, Trev. I can't quite see the replay myself. But yeah, I think some people made a couple of mistakes going into the cutting. And unfortunately, that fence creeps up real quick. So hopefully the drivers involved can get into pit lane, get that damage repaired, and get on their way to hopefully finishing this race.
Oh, Vert Wheeler, he had a moment. He's had a moment here on the opening lap. He's had another one as well. Messick goes through. I think he's been involved in something. Super VT with some damage to the rear of that car. Will I Am has got away as well. Sparky in the pits along with Heath, who's in the pits as well. Still working on getting the KTM around here at a decent clip, says Rain of Fire, but we might head back. Wow, where to look here at the moment. 30 plus drivers with us here, ladies and gentlemen, for the race tonight. And we are through the opening lap, 57 minutes to go. And you can see there the transition to daytime sunrise here at Mount Panorama. Everybody is waking up. And if they're not awake already, with the sound of 35 engines roaring. And couldn't drive it, says Sparky God. That was quality, says Rain of Fire. And how good was Kilroy and the safety car? Well, he's still got that safety car bearing down on him. But in fact, the gap has just increased a little bit here, Prince. He's got some breathing space here on lap 2 of this race.
Yeah, so Kilroy's starting to stretch his legs here. The power of the Aston, I think, going down Conrod helped him stretch those legs a little bit more. But yeah, Wilco starting to get under a bit of pressure there as Sidog damped the fence back there as they make their way through McPhillamy Park. And well, Trev, it's quite tense up the front. I see yellow flags just after the cutting again. So yeah, drivers getting caught up in some simple mistakes here tonight and having to return to the garage here.
And Andrelli getting amongst it in the chat saying he loves how the Fez has been pulled down a peg or two. And this race needs more Jaguars. Repeat, more Jaguars, says Rainer Fire. But what have we got happening in the field, Prince? I really do not know where to look. I know it's a bit of a throwaway line. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. Has somebody else come a cropper? I think
Yeah,
Captain
Skyline
Planet.
now, I think.
Yep, I think something happening at Skyline. Let's have a look through the field. Bits are missing. Doesn't seem to have any bits missing at the moment, but Jackery Smitty's got some damage to the front of that car, and my goodness gracious me, this is what we love about sim racing, the challenges, Prince, and the tribulations, the trials and tribulations of sim racing, and you know all too well what it's like here as Captain Planet into the pits along with Diswood, and a few have made pit stops here, maybe to get some damage repaired, Prince. Mandatory pit stops, of course, for tyres. And I think they're getting their pit stops out of the way early, Prince, and trying to find some clear air there out of the pack.
Yeah, I think so, but Trev, I think we managed to get a plane ticket for Rajesh. I think he's managed to make it over here. Rajesh, we got you down there a bit lane, sir.
Yes, hello, it is me, Trevor, and Voodoo. I am back. I'm glad to be here finally. My plane ticket arrived. I got them for Christmas, but the pit lane is very active at the moment. Lots of cars in here with quite a bit of damage. So hopefully they can get back out there, Trevor. But back to you.
Great stuff, Rajesh, and still yet to get the invite over there back home to your place in India. Must have slipped down the side of the car or something there. But thank you for that, Rajesh, because we'll be getting back to you at various points in the evening. He appears when you least expect it, a bit like my mate Charlie, the inflatable alien. But if you're just tuning in, we've got 23 people watching us. We're a couple of laps down in this race, a 1 hour race. And we're talking about Indian pit lane reporters and small inflatable aliens, which I fitted in to my commentary box. So they're going to be thinking, what on earth are they going on about? But all in all, we've got Kilroy now leading this race, coming up to some traffic already. Wilco now 1.3 seconds further back from Kilroy. And he's got Sidorg for company. We've seen these two go toe-to-toe many occasions in 2023. And you can see here in the new year, 2024, Prince, they are renewing their hostilities nice and early.
Yeah, it's good to see. There was a lot of, I wouldn't say rivalries, because they are good friends. So a couple of mistakes there. Oh, as I see, Exus is parked in Murray's corner there, Trev. So I think he's managed to find his way into the barrier.
Well, there we have it. Exorcist is the 666 Mercedes-Benz there. We can't quite get a good view of that. We seem to be stuck on the tyre barrier here along with Exorcist, but can he get out of there? Do we think it is a low-speed corner coming out of Murray's corner? Yep, now he's getting back underway once again. He doesn't look to have too much damage there. Prince, he might have just noticed the rear of the car overtaking the front of him there, and he's managed to get back going again.
Yeah, quite possibly went into Murray's corner a little bit too quick and just oversteered, couldn't correct the car and found himself out there hugging the barrier. But it was good to see him waiting up and holding on not to impede anybody by coming out onto the racing line there. So that was good awareness and good driving by Exorcist to wait and be patient. But Super VT, Trev, that's a lot of damage onto the front of that BMW.
It certainly is. Started, of course, 35th on the grid. Our only female driver, I think. I shouldn't really say that until I know that for a fact. But Super VT, good effort there, by the way. 35th off the line and up to 19th, but of course back in the pits at the moment. Kilroy has got a safety car right up his ginger down Conrod Straight. Where did this come from?
Oh, this is coming out of nowhere. Kilroy must have made a slight mistake, maybe over the top of the mountain, but Wilco's looking to go down the inside. He thinks better of it. He files back in behind, so I wonder whether Wilco's going to try a run up the mountain straight, Trev, because that's going to be a good move for him. He needs to try and get past Kilroy when he can, because the legs Kilroy has in that Aston, it's just not too much the Macca can handle, I think.
Can we just take stock here of what we're seeing? Is he going to go down the inside of turn one? No! Oh, he had a cheeky look there to Jason Wilkinson, and he couldn't quite get the move done. Top three, don't forget about Glasso, who is in 21st. Well, you can forget about him for now, but please don't forget about him if you're out there watching. We're thinking of you, Glasso, let me tell you. But boy, he's got front row seats to this battle, because first, second and third are all covered by 0.7 of a second. They are all literally in 1 sec at the moment, Chuck Norris.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's the get in my sack. You know, I can't quite do that voice anymore. It's past Christmas, but you know, this battle here is quite intense.
Get in my sack!
It kind of scares me a little
Get
bit
in it!
because, you know, if one person makes a small mistake, there's your top three gone. So, you know, fingers crossed I haven't just cursed anybody.
Well, I tell you what, speaking of aliens, says Rain of Fire, no, Keaton, he is very much an extraterrestrial. Jimbo crashing out, one of our favourites, Jimbo. We'll have to jump back on Battlefield in the very near future. Jimbo, one of our beloved regulars, he has crashed out, unfortunately. And didn't we determine, though, yesterday that Wilco needs to be in a brown car? What is this all about? What is this sorcery that he's talking about, please, Nigerian Prince?
Oh, so some people might know, the drivers will know, and the viewers will not know. Wilco's been hard at work. He's been putting together driver ratings for everybody with a mixture of consistency, pace, wet weather ratings, all that kind of good stuff to give you like an overall rating. It feels a bit like FIFA, you know, when you do an unpack and you're like, oh my god, I got Sidorg and he's a 93 rated driver. That's the kind of feel that Wilco's gone for. I think he's played a bit too much FIFA there, Trev, but basically I got to announce it during my birthday stream yesterday, and I was like, in the left corner we have, and then I was like, in the right corner, and then Wilco said through his, and then I was like, well, okay, I've done the blue corner and the red corner, Wilco's the brown corner, and yeah, we kind of determined he had to drive a brown car, but I'm a little bit disappointed that it's blue.
Well, speaking of these ratings, actually, I think we're not too happy about my rating there. We'll just have a quick look at that. You can see there. There's my rating, by the way, if that camera's going to focus. No, it's not.
Can you read it to us, Trev?
He's given me a 99 for commentary. He's given me
Am I written down as Nigerian Prince as well? What is this?
That's all right. We'll put him in the chat, but if you can... Oh, forget it. It's not going to focus. But I need to focus.
I need you to read out your rating. We need it.
Yep, okay. I'm going to do that. Wow, it's all happening here at the moment. Sidorg, these top three. But, yeah, so he's given me commentary, 99. Voice, 90. Oh, my goodness. Forget about my ratings. Because look at this. Look at this. Kilroy. Oh, and someone's going slowly. I think it's Jimbo there. Boy, what a time to go off there. Oh my goodness me! Forget about the ratings for the time being, because it's Ultimate Team. It's going off here at the moment. Kilroy, after all of that, has managed to keep his nose in front just, but first, second, and third all together still. And we'll get to these ratings. 99 for commentary, 99 for the voice. The voice, it's we've got to get 99 for the voice, of course, because it's part of the fortune. The voice, that's what it's all about. The excitement, 99 for excitement. He's given me a 98 for reading the chat, which I'm not sure about that. I'm usually pretty good with the chat. And then Chuck Norris, Nigerian Prince, 99 for commentary, 99 for the voice. Excitement depends how he puts up with Trevor. And then dealing with Trev's SHIT, he's given you 1,000 points there, Chuck.
Yeah, Trev, I think I don't know what you call that kind of rated player in FIFA Ultimate Team, but I feel like I've jumped off the top rope onto you and kind of pinned you down and you've tapped out there. So, I think my ratings are taking the cake there. But let's get back to this racing.
Let's
The
get back.
safety car going
Ooh.
up the inside. Oh, he thinks different, Trev.
Tell you what, Kilroy, safety car. Let's spend a bit of time commemorating 34th to 12th in 12 minutes. What the heck says Dismo Nath? And this is fantastic racing. I know there's other battles going on, but I think this is the closest, I think, isn't it? Depending on where we're looking. There's a few other things happening, but we've got to stay with this lead trio. Surely here, Chuck Norris, because there's sparks flying up here. Oh, they're coming up to some traffic as well. The excitement is never ending. I'm standing up, and Zest won. How's he going to negotiate this? He's got the leading pack behind him. You don't want to be half asleep here, do you, Chuck, with these boys coming up behind you?
Yeah, it's very hard over the top of the mountain. Typically, we like blue flags to, kindly make their way off the racing line, either up Mountain Straight or down Conrod. It's the safest places on the circuit to do it. It's definitely too dangerous over the top of the mountain, but it's definitely bunched these guys up. So this is going to be interesting, Trev.
It certainly is, and it does not get any more interesting than this. Our race leader in this 1 hour race here, the build-up to the big one on March the 1st, the 8 hours of Bathurst. And who will conquer the mountain here in 2024? Who will conquer the mountain tonight? Oh boy, Kilroy rounding up traffic. You can see there he's shelling peas as Zestwan goes into the pit lane. Is there a worse place to catch back markers with someone up your ring piece? I don't think there is, Rain of Fire, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. And we're good friends.
Slide side by side with Wilco. Sorry, Trev.
Oh, well, I think he might be more than side by side with Wilco. He is through and up into P2. Wow. Just when we were looking at Kilroy, Sidorg's gone and spread his wasabi and just passed him big time there. He's up to P2.
Yeah, he managed to squeeze his way through. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Trev, but I did see Sidorg looking to go for a move in Murray's corner, and then I was like, wait, is he going side by side? And then, before you know it, Sidorg took the opportunity and got past Wilco. So, the battle's on. Sidorg, can he hold Wilco behind, or are they going to kind of work together to catch Kilroy and keep the battle alive?
Let's wait and see. We really should be looking at drivers lower down the order. In 4th place is Sofa King, then it's Matchin in 5th. Got to give him some airtime, don't we? And you can see that is a very McLaren livery there as our cameraman is flying across the top of the mountain. That is a very, very McLaren-like livery there. Good stuff there. Nick in 6th place, F1 Sniper in 7th. And then it's Mark Ledwich inside the top 10. Hammer, who's a new name there, I believe. Chuck Norris here this evening. And Cobb McCool says, go the safety car. Good job getting Bert Maylander on board. And it certainly wasn't easy, Cobb. Corn on the cob, as he's more commonly known to his friends. And then it's, oh, Bits are missing! Has Bits missing? And he is facing the wrong way. And now, oh, wow, that is not a good place to be. Can he just roll it a bit forward there and maybe get some space in that gravel trap? Vert Wheeler coming along with the Exorcist. And Bits are missing now. He's going to have to make his way back to the pit lane, which is unfortunate for him because he was in a solid top 10 spot there before that incident at the top of the hill.
Yeah, so I wonder whether he was, I believe it's McPhillamy Park just before you come into Skyline. You can correct me on that one, Trev. But I believe he must have kind of just dropped it over the curb into the gravel, and sometimes, depending on the car, it can actually loosen it and kind of throw you back. So he was lucky he managed to catch the car from rolling back down Skyline. but he did well to wait and get it spun around. I was a bit worried there, but yeah, he took the escape road and made sure that he didn't infringe anybody as they were trying to make their way past safely. So he did well, but Jackery into the barrier there at Murray's corner, Trev. So that's going to hurt him a little bit. Is that a position lost, or is that Dask making his way through?
Well, it's going to
Well,
hurt.
it is a position.
I think that is for position. I think Dask has jumped up. Yes, he has. Well, there you go. Jackery having a small moment there, and he's lost a position, and he will not be happy about that. He'll be about as happy as me when I got my 4-pack of underwear on Christmas Day, the usual stuff. No, I had a good Christmas, I'll be honest with you. Nice bottle of Ned Kelly whiskey and a nice framed poster of the Collingwood Football Club. And anyone outside of Victoria won't have a clue what I'm talking about. As Rain of Fire says, Burrow will be happy seeing a Bentley in the field. And yeah, good stuff there for Bits Are Missing, staying out of the way. And very easy to cause another incident, isn't it, to Chuck? And getting back on the track. Kilroy had a moment, go to the front 3. Kilroy has had a moment, and now they're 1, 2 and 3 all together again. He's had a couple of moments. And they haven't been memorable moments there, Chuck.
Yeah, you can see a bit of damage on that front splitter. So the problem with Bathurst is not only is it a tough track to master and be consistent at, but the barriers are
yes, and that is fantastic. But look how, wow, it is so close. It's tighter than my wetsuit here at the moment, because look at them. And wow. And the safety car now is in third, which is Jason Wilkinson. Sidorg in second. And Cobb McCool, the corn on the Cobster, has subscribed at Tier 1. And he's currently on an 8th-month streak, Prince. You know what that means? He will be giving birth next month once he gets to the end of his final trimester. And Cobb McCool says, so you didn't get a framed picture of me. And that sounds absolutely fantastic. And that's something that I need to organise, Chuck. Add that to the list of things to do in season 2024. And then Andrelli says, Trev, lost for words? That's a first. It was all just happening. We're taking in so much information here, aren't we, Chuck, in the commentary box. But Jimbo says, Wilco said, that Kilroy is fast in a straight line. I'm not so sure about that, Chuck, because Simon's getting very, very close to him.
Yeah, definitely creeping in, but I just want to go back onto what I was saying. I kind of stopped because Cobb Call came in with the 8 months. But the Bathurst is such a tricky track, because not only are the barriers right there, but if you make a mistake and just tap the barrier, that could be as easy as getting anything from like 2 to 4 seconds of damage just off a light tap to the cement wall. So, that damage in ACC, when it kind of builds up and you get up to about 10 to 15 seconds, that's really where you start to notice straight line speed going down and things like that. But yeah, back on to what's going on here.
And
This battle, he always seems to be able to stretch them legs though, doesn't he?
Well, I tell you what, I might have failed maths at school so many times that I've lost count. But I can tell you one thing, that I could count how many times these two have. I can't really remember, in fact, how many times. What I'm trying to say is, how close is this battle? And it's been this way on the opening 10 laps, the opening 22 minutes of this race, Prince, and it is showing no signs. You can tell I didn't do maths in year 12, but it is showing no signs of letting up here, and the pressure that these three must be under is absolutely intense. All Kilroy with another slight mistake there that's going to leave him vulnerable here across the top of the mountain.
Yeah, it's going to leave him a little bit vulnerable, so he's accumulating damage, which is not going to be good. I've seen him hit the wall a couple of times, so I kind of get a bit worried with how much damage is gathering up. But I did see Wilco also hit the fence there too, briefly. It's a tricky spot there. You want to get on throttle as quick as you can. But yeah, I'm wondering when Kilroy is kind of going to make that mistake that kind of drops him back a position. He's dropped back and he's kind of grouped them all back up again in mistakes, but he hasn't lost a position in a mistake yet, Trev. So I don't want to commentator's curse it, but I've got a feeling there's going to be a mistake sometime soon that might unfortunately drop Kilroy back, and maybe Sidorg and Wilco kind of drop him back to P3.
Well, whilst things are just having a bit of a break there, Nismo Nath, who's jumped well up the field, hasn't he? I think we saw him write that in the chat. He's 34th to 12th in just 12 minutes. That's more than one position a minute. But like I said, I haven't been the best at maths over the course of my life. But he is right behind. This is one of the closer battles, in fact, Prince, here between Super VT and Nismo Nath here at the moment as he runs slightly wide there through that corner. And has a little bit of a moment there, but we'll keep an eye on this battle at the front. There's a bit of dust there. Where is the safety car? It's in the pits! Jason Wilkinson in the pits. Now, why is he coming in right now, I hear you ask everybody at home? Well, I can tell you why. Because he's probably trying to get an undercut here on lap 11 of this race. And I've done the cardinal sin of answering. I hate it when people answer their own questions, and I've just gone and done that there, Prince. But why has he come in right now and not another lap? Please tell the viewers in your learned opinion.
No, you hit the money on the head, or hit the nail on the head, I think I meant to say. Hit the nail on the head there, Travis. I think he's come in purely based on pace. He thinks he's a little bit quicker, and the undercut might be of advantage. So, as we see here, though, Kilroy made a mistake and Seidel got past. So, maybe Wilco had a little bit of inside information, knowing that a commentator's curse was going to happen, and he decided, you know what, I'm going to bite the bullet, I'm going to get out of this before something happens. So I'm looking forward to seeing where he files in, but Sidorg now leading the race for the first time this time round, Trev.
So he's made the move, Sidorg.
I got fastest lap too.
Oh, wait a minute, wait for it.
Look at you go.
Yes, and someone kindly pointed out that laugh actually sounds a bit like, what did we say it was like, or what did you say it was like, Prince, more than anyone?
Yeah, I said Trev's like wheeze at the end of the sound effect. If you guys remember that penguin from Toy Story, you know when he loses his voice box and he tries to talk but he wheezes that much, it sounds like Trev.
Yeah, I forget his name, but you know,
I think I lost my squeaker. I lost my squeaker.
you know, and remember old Wheezy? And there we have it. How good is it to have Chuck Norris alongside us in the commentary box? And absolute quality to have the Nigerian Prince Chuck Norris alongside us. And he's the sort of man that he could win an arm wrestling contest, couldn't he, with both arms tied behind his back. That's how good he is. But we've got 34 minutes remaining in this race. And you liked a bit of wheezy, didn't you?
I lost my squeaker.
And 12. Oh, Sidorg spinning! And Sidorg has had a spin. It's not quite a full 360 there. It's kind of a half spin there. More of a 180. But you can see the angles, whichever way you want to look at it, are not good. And that's going to give Kilroy some breathing space. Can you believe it, Chuck Norris? Because Kilroy was the one who was looking nervous. Now Sidorg has made a mistake.
Yeah, so that mistake was actually very lucky. I caught the tail end of that one, and Sidorg was thankfully managed to keep his car somewhat pointing in the right direction. But Kilroy just missed going into the rear right quarter panel of Sidorg's car. But Sofa King also managed to sneak past Sidorg there. So I got a feeling once these guys shuffle into pit lane, I think we're gonna have a safety car leading this race. But I don't want to hold it too soon. I want to see it.
And look at this, Will Star and Hammer are having their own little battle, and I think the people out there didn't mind a little bit of wheezy. And every time we get excited up here, Prince, you know what that means, Prince? Here we go.
I think I feel a song coming on.
I think I feel a song coming on. Thank you, Wheezy. And Willstar is down Conrod Straight, and he thinks the cameraman has been hitting hitting it again. There we have it. It's just off my screen there. But Willstar and Hammer Time are coming down Conrod Straight, heading towards the chase. I am sweating up big time here. But don't let me give you that visual in your mind, because Willstar is through on Hammer. Wow, so Hammerbarn just gave it right up. He gave the goods right up there, Chuck Norris.
Yeah, so Hammer conceding a position to Willstar there. Willstar also carrying the purple lap of the race. But guys, this is the time where I have to quickly give you a friendly reminder. If you are out there and you haven't hit that follow button, for a limited time only, if you hit that follow button right now, you will get a jar of commentator's sweat straight from Trev, delivered straight to your door or your mailbox. But you've got to follow now. It's a limited time offer for the next 5 minutes.
You can see it there. Actual, genuine there has been rinsed.
How do you just have that like right there? Like...
Oh, don't you worry about it. I'm everywhere, but there we have it. We'll move on from that one. Thank you to everybody out there watching, and look at this battle, because Willstar, where has this pace come from, Chuck Norris? He is up to 5th and harassing Mark Ledwidge now for P4.
Yeah, so this is actually a good battle. We've covered a lot of the top 3 fighting their way through a majority of this race, but this is actually a really good point in time during this race to see a nice battle. Or Willstar going down the inside of Heat. I believe Heat might be a lap down here at the moment due to an early incident that he's trying to recover himself from. So yeah, Willstar is pushing and pushing. He's got the pace with the purple lap, Trev, and you know, he's only 4 seconds off Markle there for P4, so this is developing into a good final 30 minutes here.
Well, it certainly is, no doubt about that. Half the race gone, you know how it goes, half still to go. As the late great Murray Walker would say, we've got Kilroy in the pits, our race leader now into the pits. Sofa King continuing along there with Sidorks. Has Sidork pitted Chuck, or has he continued on? Unless I've missed something, but Sofa King is up into P2. We've had 4 people following this channel. Can you believe it? 4 people have followed us for the first stream of 2024, and boy, aren't we excited, because Prince, if you get 4 people follow you each day this year, that means you're going to have 1,460 followers by the end of it, plus the 288 we've already got. And you can see there my maths is a little bit suspect most of the time, but Sofa King... Oh, Sidorg has hit the wall! He's hit the wall again! Wow, so it's happened again. What is happening to this man, Simon Bishop? He greets you in the cafe on Gran Turismo 7 and says, oh, I like playing the drums a little bit too. Welcome to the cafe. And now he's made a couple of blues here, as you could sell that for more than a supermodel's bathwater, says Rain of Fire, as race control lets us know that we've got 30 minutes left. And guess who's joined us? Ricardo! Good day all, says the Flying Dutchman. But what is going on with Sidorg?
I think, yeah, so Rain of Fire has just pointed out it could be just porker things and the tyres, but I did see him get onto that inside curb, which you don't normally touch on that part of the circuit. So yeah, it's an interesting one. I've got a feeling we might see him dive into pit lane here, but you know, if he tries to push on, I wouldn't blame him either. But good battle here going on with Bits of Missing slowly catching onto the back of Super VT.
Let's just have a look at this matching in the middle of them there. Less than half an hour to go in this race, and if my wife taps on the commentary box door right about now mid-race and says, would you like to come to bed, sweetie? No, 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 Mrs. B, because I'm not going anywhere for any reason apart from some sort of life-threatening reason, but hopefully we don't have to call an ambulance or anything. But what I'm trying to say is I cannot take my eyeballs and my retinas and my corneas off of this race here at the moment, Prince. What a race to kick us off for 2024. Another wheel disconnect for the Exorcist, talking about holes there as well. And a portion its tyres, walk into a bar, says Rain of Fire. And it sounds like the start of a good joke there, doesn't it? But lap 15, and wow, if we're getting this much action in 1 hour, Prince, imagine what we're going to get in 8 hours. We're going to get 8 times the amount of action as we get in 1 hour.
Yeah, absolutely. The start of this race was definitely a killer one, and we didn't quite end up seeing what the big pile up of carnage was at the cutting, but I'm sure we'll see replays of that later on down the line. But yeah, this race is not disappointed in the first 30 minutes, Trev, and this is setting us up for a great 8-hour race in March, or the first weekend of March, might I say. So a couple of people in the chat, obviously, as you've caught on, Trev, Exorcist, with some wheel disconnects. A couple of people unfortunately got too much damage, and I'm hoping most of the people that got too much damage still managed to continue. But did you see, Trev? Sidorg made his way into pit lane, and I don't know if he's in front of Wilco or not. Oh no, that timing's just updated.
Well, let me tell you, I had a bit of a, I was thinking of something funny there, but there's nothing funny about this, because you can see here with 27 and a bit minutes to go, that's a bit stiff. Oh, and hello, we've got a little train forming. What's happening there? Kilroy and Mac Miller are in some kind of funeral procession. First of all, I didn't know anybody had died, but second of all, I didn't have an invite to the funeral or the wake. What's going on?
Okay, I don't want to say this because I might be right, but is Kilroy getting a push into pit lane because he ran out of fuel?
Look at this. He's just waiting for a mate there. Kilroy doesn't have any fuel and his mate's pushing him. He's pushing and pushing. What do you get when you cross an Aston Martin with a McLaren, I wonder? We might find out in 9 months' time. And now they've morphed into each other. Is Kilroy going to make this? Is he going to make it to the pit lane?
I don't think he will, unfortunately. Yeah, ghosting. Yes. So Max continued on to say, yeah, I think Kilroy was out of fuel there. Mac was doing a nice thing and giving him a bit of a push into pit lane, but unfortunately, the moment you go over that pit lane line, you go ghosted. So yeah, it didn't quite work out for him, and he had to teleport back.
As Ricardo saying, yeah, Kilroy, rain of fire. Kilroy certainly out of fuel. Thank you, Ricardo. And that's brilliant sportsmanship, says Exorcist, the great man Exo, and McArse. McAston would it sound a little bit better, of course, there, rain of fire, but we'll go with that. There was a bit of McArse action going on as well. And there we have it. So 25 minutes. I'm losing the plot here again. And there we go. Lap 16 of this race. Boy, oh boy. So we've seen Sidorg make some mistakes. We've seen Kilroy run out of fuel. Wilco pitted a little bit earlier than everybody else, and it looks like he's going to come out... well, looks like he's set up quite nicely here with the final 25 minutes to go.
Yeah, so Sidorg was about 4.6 or 4.4 seconds off of Wilco when he came out of pit lane. So that gap has slowly come back down. So yeah, hopefully we'll see that gap kind of dwindle back down a little bit. But yeah, for now, the safety car is leading the race provisionally.
Well, look at this, the safety car in front, albeit provisionally. Sofa King still leads out on the circuit, of course, but the number 85 leading ahead of number 88, and you can see that Hammer Time there as well in the Bentley top three, but everybody else, Saint Sim also yet to make a stop there, Matchin as well, Heath, someone awesome, 12 laps down. I think some of these boys might be out of contention, I think, there, Chuck. So we'll just get back to the business end. What other battles have we got going on here? Bits are missing. And Super VT, 11th and 12th. This is heating up. And you can see there the sum of us up your BUM, says Exo. And look at these numbers. Healthy numbers for the stream, Prince.
Yeah, this is a wonderful numbers. Everybody rocking up for the first stream of 2024. And guys, I know I joked about commentators sweat from Trev earlier, but honestly, if you want my opinion, please do consider hitting that follow button, because you are not going to want to miss out on any content that gets broadcasted here on Trev's channel. So be sure to hit that follow button, turn those notifications on, and if you've got an Amazon Prime sub, you can send Trev to the moon, or you can even get Trev a glass of water if you use the Amazon Prime sub.
Check out tonight's t-shirt, ladies and gentlemen. Michael, I just sent you an email with the diagrams. Did you receive that? Look, I've just sent you an email. There we go. Sad
Oh,
day
that's
for team
classic.
principals, of course, with Gunther Steiner. Who hopefully he doesn't smash his hawking door on the way out. But terrible news there for Gunther. But I got to say, Sofa King leads the race. He still hasn't come into the pits. But the safety car driven by Jason Wilkinson. He'll be sending a few emails here tonight because it's looking like that early pit stop was a masterpiece of strategy, Chuck Norris.
Yeah, so that the incidents that Sidorg made definitely helped Wilco's movement here to retain the lead. But I don't want to say it, Trev, but I feel like if Sidorg didn't make those couple of mistakes, I feel like he might have come out in front of Wilco here. But this gap, there's still 22 minutes on the clock. That time is crunching down. It's holding at about 3 seconds now, Trev. But that's come down since Sidorg came out of the pits by about 1.4 seconds. So we might see this kind of getting real close and spicy towards the end of this one.
We certainly will be. We'll go back to this battle for the time being, though. 22 minutes remaining. I'm so excited. I'm standing up. I am dripping with pure commentator sweat here at the moment. And Rain of Fire saying that's gold. And he's also saying, Rain of Fire, that there's no real reason to watch Drive to Survive. Oh, Super VT has made a mistake.
Oh, no.
And now that's going to give Bits of Missing an opportunity to go down the inside. And now the inside turns into the outside. A little switcheroo. And Bits of Missing over the top of the hill has got that position over Super VT. And Shawnee Fuller wants a piece of the action as well. But I don't think they are on the same lap because there is Captain Planet trying to bring pollution down to zero between them, I think, there, Prince. And, well, I've got to say, like we said, Rain of Fire, no reason, of course, to watch Drive to Survive. We'll get back to that in a moment because I reckon that Shawnee Fuller is having a crack here as well, Chuck.
Yeah, so Shawnee Fuller clawed onto the back here of Super VT in this battle that's going on, but I gotta give it to Super VT, Trev. That save was immaculate. I'm surprised that Super VT lived after that, and then they managed to go too wide as well, right the way through to almost going down Conrad. So great save, great racing by those two drivers.
20 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen. This is our first stream of 2024. Not Chuck Norris's first stream, of course. He has been up and about. The big birthday stream yesterday absolutely went off. And you can see there, yep, Gunther getting back to these comments. I'm only 98 rating on the comments for reading the comments, Chuck. So I better get those numbers up there, rookie numbers in this racket. But you can see there, and wow, Gunther, that's going to be a sad loss for Drive to Survive, of course, with Gunther. But look at these views. To get 25 views last year, I would have fucked the whole paddock, and that's how Gunther talks. But we're going to miss him. And Exo says, great to see a Bentley in the top 10. And Shawnee Fuller, that battle continues. But look at this battle. Wow, second and first. Wow, he made a few mistakes beforehand. Sidorg, of course, at the top of the hill, and we thought he might have lost his mojo because he was like he's had a few laps there. He was like a bear with no teeth. He just couldn't seem to attack, could he, Prince? So I guess a bear with no teeth would be a gummy bear, wouldn't it? But anyway, so here they come. Here they come. Less than 20 minutes in this race. And who have you got your money on, ladies and gentlemen at home? Because my wife is going to tell me to shut my mouth because I'm getting that excited that I'm sitting in a pool of commentary sweat. But I can handle it. I can cope with it for the next 19 minutes because look how close it is. And after all of the what have we been doing here? 40 minutes of racing, 19 laps, and these two are just right together yet again, smack bang together, and nothing between them here, Chuck.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing between them. But everybody in the chat, I just want to give you guys a quick poll. I've put a poll in the chat. Who will win? So you can either vote for Wilco, who is named as safety car. You can either put your vote towards Sidorg, or you can put your vote to another driver who might be Sofa King or anybody else. So get your votes in. At the top of chat, there is a poll. It's got 5 minutes.
Oh, side by side. Sidorg looking to drag race Jason Wilkinson down Conrod Straight. Wilco having none of that, and the man who founded the JDCA, the Jason Wilkinson Driver Academy, might have butchered the acronym there, that's for sure, but Ricardo says Sofa will also join the party in about 4 laps time, and you can see there, Beaky, Happy New Year, and hope you all had great holidays. I managed to, I kept working through the Christmas New Year period, Beaky, but I've got 2 years coming up. 2 years. I wish I had 2 years off.
Oh my goodness, this is fantastic!
Fantastic! And 2 weeks off, rather. I wouldn't mind having 2 years off. But anyway, I can do that when I'm old and grey, because this is a battle for the ages. A titanic scrap between Jason Wilkinson and Sidorg. It looks a bit funny, doesn't it? If you're just joining us, it looks like Sidorg is chasing the safety car down, but that is not a safety car. It is Jason Wilkinson disguised as a safety car, and they come across the top of the hill. And I reckon if my Christmas sack is getting sweaty, I'd hate to think of what these drivers are getting put through at the moment, Chuck Norris.
Yeah, everybody would be sweating buckets, I think, all the way through. You know, it's not only do you have your real world climate conditions, whether it's hot or cold for you right now, or, you know, whether you're just sweating like crazy because you're driving around Mount Panorama, you know, it's definitely one of those ones that you'll be dripping by the end of this one. But this battle at the front, Trev, it's just not letting up. It's a shame that Kilroy couldn't be a part of it due to running out of fuel, but, you know, these guys are still putting on a great show.
You can see there, Christmas sack, my lord, says EXO, and Voodoo, the Nigerian prince, has chucked a poll into the chat. He says, who will win? The safety car of Wilco or Sidorg or someone else? Don't forget about Sofa King, Cuddy, Stephen Bradbury at home if these two have each other off. And look at that, look at the current votes. Get your votes in, ladies and gentlemen. How can there be 4 votes when we've got 23 people watching? That is beyond me, although I am one of them. And who does Raj think will win? Raj, have you got us there? Down in the pit lane, we're going to Raj Nahasapima Pedalon in the pit lane as Jimbo, speaking of the pit lane, is now out of it.
Yes, hello Trevor, it is me, Rajesh. I hear you calling me.
Yes, is it 1 or 2 scoops of coconut cream for your Vindaloo recipe? Because look at this! Jimbo gets out of the way. He hasn't done too many favours for anybody there, I don't reckon, but he's done quite well. Geez, I've got to be careful. Jimbo's going to not like me for saying that, but they're coming up to some traffic. And Rajesh, if you're going to speak now, please speak now or forever hold your peace.
Trevor, if I hold my peace, that means you can't get your peace. Yes.
Yes, an eye for an eye will make the world go blind, said Gandhi. But let me tell you now, we'll get back to you in a moment, Rajesh, there in the pit lane, because less than 15 minutes is traffic going to play a role in this race. We shall wait and see, as it's going to get difficult, isn't it, too, for the drivers here, Chuck? You've done plenty of laps around here. Of course, that sun is at a very awkward height. Oh, and Jimbo... Jimbo looked like he was bouncing around there. He's bounced that far. He's bounced back into the pit lane. Nick and Willstar having a battle. Look at this, but it's hard to take your eyes off the front too, isn't it? But Willstar and Nick, we're going to keep this going for a little while. That's just about long enough, Prince, because we need to get back to the front battle. And get your votes in. At the moment, it's 60-40 in favour of Wilco, but I wouldn't be so sure. I'm back. Sorry, I had a bit of a moment there. And now I am back, and I will not leave you again, ladies and gentlemen, down into the... Oh, he's not going to go around there, is he? He's got to move down through Murray's corner. No. Wow, I just don't think Wilco was expecting it to happen there. Do you, Chuck?
Yeah, I don't think Wilco was expecting that, but, you know, we saw Seidel get a move like that done. I believe it was on Kilroy, was it earlier? We saw him get a move done there. Or did he do that move on Wilco earlier? I can't remember, but one thing I am certain of is I've seen Seidel do that move once this race already, and he managed to get away with it. But I do believe he had the inside line during that move that he had succeeded. So he has to file back in behind, another run up the mountain, and it's a tricky one. So let's see what happens when they come back down.
Well, look at this. 13 minutes, lucky for some. 13 minutes to go in this race, and boy, oh boy, this battle is continuing to rage here at the front. And look at that, 22 laps, all of those decisions that the drivers have to make. I'm hoping, Prince, that they're going to catch these two ahead of them. Sparky God and somebody else. Hopefully they're going to get them at, are they going to get them on Conrod straight here? I think one of them's jumping out of the way now.
Yeah, so somebody opting to jump out of the way there just before they make their way down Conrod, and Jackery as well. Looks like he's getting ready to move out of the way. So these blue flag drivers are doing the right thing by all means, is allowing this battle up the front to continue and develop into this final 12 minutes.
Well, I tell you what, it is going to be a grandstand finish. What an opening stream for this channel for season 2024. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Hope you had a great off season. I guess there is no such thing as an off season in the sim racing world, is there, at the moment? Side Augie tried to get through here on the outside last lap. Is he going to try it again? No. But I reckon he's lining up something bigger here. I think they're pretty much clear now, aren't they, Prince, until there's a few cars happening. I've got medals still there going through your picture, but I think they're going to be right now for the next 11 and a bit minutes. Exo saying, shake and bake, baby. And is he just, he's a clever cookie here, Simon Bishop, isn't he? He's got all that experience in the Gran Turismo world and everything else, the Gran Turismo World Tour, of course. He knows some pretty high up people in high places, does Simon Bishop. He is challenged in the hair department, but that does not stop him from achieving great things. And despite being bald, it is not having any impact here tonight. Not sure where I was going with the hair thing, but I've got to say that this is an absolute blockbuster battle to finish this race on, Chuck.
Yeah, it definitely is. This is a great opening race for the year. Getting 2024 underway with a bang here. Not only that, but we're getting it underway with what is supposedly and building up to be the grandstand finish. But Trev, I just want to say quickly, before I cross it back over to you, you might have some questions to answer to when Sidorg listens back to that. He's not going to be too happy.
No, but really not sure what possessed me to go down the joke, the follically challenged stuff, but there we have it. So he is right behind Jason Wilkinson still. Don't you worry about it, Prince. I'll have to pay for that, in the post-race driver press conferences. Oh, I thought I was your favourite. Why are you making up jokes about me? Oh, look at this. Geez, should we get some onboard action or not? Or we might just keep an eye on things. Glasso and Saint Sim also having a good battle down there for 14th. And Rain of Fire saying it's a weight reduction thing, having no hair. And like I said, I apologise profusely, which means apologising a lot or to some sort of very high standard. But that's the best that you're going to get out of me here this evening, because I've got to tell you one thing. Lap 24 of this race, where to look. P1 and P2 having a great battle here. We've lost a few, haven't we? Spawn in the pits, Jimbo as well. We saw his incident a few minutes ago. Then Vibesy, Kilroy, and the rest of them. Nismo in the pits there, Matchin. So still not a bad turnout. We've still got 30 or so. I think we've lost a few across the journey though, Prince.
Yeah, so a few have succumbed to their injuries here, but oh no, that's unfortunate there. I can't quite see the name of that driver, but Trevor, I just want to kind of let the viewers have an insight as to what it's like driving around this tricky circuit that is Mount Panorama. Could we get an onboard of Sidorg? Possibly
Yes! Trigger Dan has just subscribed. He says, hello, beautiful humans, and he's been subscribed for 5 months now. So he's halfway through his pregnancy. It's like a joke we have here that 9 months is when you give birth, if you know what I'm trying to say. Boy, they're going to think, what on earth has happened to him? He's lost his marbles. But let me tell you about that Chuck Norris a bit later on, because we're going to go driving with Simon. Oh, jeez, I've stuffed the cameras up again. Look at this. Wow, side by side, Sidorg takes the lead, but Wilco is not going to give an inch here at the moment. And the Twitch baby is brewing in his second trimester there, Triggered Dan. And let's have a look from the rear of this car. There we go, the rear of the Porsche. And you can see Jason Wilkinson, he might have conceded on that occasion, but he is not going to give in here. Through turn 1 we go. Just 7.5 minutes remaining in this one. And Beaky says, is that a 3-time champion driving the safety car, giving away free driving lessons, who posted a clip of himself putting it into the wall on this track? And I'm sure that clip of him putting it into the wall on this track was for private use only in the KRL group chat, or whatever chat it was in. But wow, what a view here we've got as we cross the mountain here, Chuck Norris, riding on board with Simon Bishop. Oh,
yeah,
he's hit the wall right in front of a picture of another car, and he's in the pits. What? Now we're in the pit lane. What has happened there?
That's absolute sadness.
Well, that's the end of that. I was having kittens up here in the commentary box. But Rain of Fire saying a rear wing cam, also known in the industry as Bob Cam, courtesy of Bob Hoskins. Hello, possums! Big hello to Bobby Hoskins out there. What on earth happened to Sidorg? He is out!
Yeah, I think he just kind of got a little bit loose, got out onto the marbles, and unfortunately just couldn't bring the car in. I don't know whether he maybe got too much damage straight off the bat from that incident. Maybe he got meatballed or there was steering damage or something. But yeah, it's a typical Bathurst scenario there.
Hello, possums!
Hello, possums! And, oops, sorry, I posted that to everybody, says Peaky. That was in a private chat on the PlayStation. And then Ricardo says, that's the beauty of Bathurst. Bathurst or Bratwurst. I could go on to those Bratwurst sausages right about now and overdrive the car, and the track will bite you in the arse, that's for sure. And Sidorg with his VIP badge says, I did a whoopsie. Does anybody remember that show with Frank Spencer? Do you remember that show, Cam? Frank Spencer? Oh, I did a whoopsie on the rug. And, you know that one, if anyone's old enough to remember that. Some mothers do have them. That was the name of that show. And can anybody overtake the safety car, says Nismo? Well, it's looking less and less likely. And that safety car now has, the safety car fellow has a career in this. I'm trying desperately to go through our record books here in this championship and in KRL history, or the Endurance Series history, to see whether a safety car A has been this quick and whether a safety car has managed to win a race here, Chuck.
Yeah, I don't actually know whether a safety car has won the race yet. I mean, Wilco can't claim that he won the race because, you know, technically his new name is safety car. So, you know, congratulations at the end of this race in 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Congratulations. I'm slow clapping the safety car. I congratulate you on the win. Wilco, you know, you got to up your game, man. The safety car beat you. I don't know what you're doing out there.
Well, that's we might keep an eye on some of the other drivers now. Less than 5 minutes remaining in this race, and no Porker tyre issues. Car was all good, says Rain of Fire. So we saw a couple of minor mistakes there earlier in the race for Simon Bishop, but then a big whoopsie indeed. And watch out for the commentator's curse, says Ricardo. Beaky says, doesn't the safety car know he has to keep the cars behind him? Well, there you have it, as Voodoo replying there. And you can see there Andrelli saying, the cat did a whoopsie in my beret. Oh, Betty. And wow, that's just haven't brought out the old Frank Spencer voice for a long time. But the Porsche is just a bit of a different car to drive, says Simon Bishop. But you got to push it to find its limits. And, or what, says Nismo. And that's what it's about, finding the limit, Prince, but not exceeding those limits and then going over that limit and then crashing or having an incident.
Yeah, 100%. I've driven the Porker here once before for a race, and I made the sketchiest setup that I possibly could. And every time I drove that setup, I kept on dying. So, sometimes the Porker's just not made to run, and Bathurst is just not one of those tracks.
And Nismo has just subscribed. The boss has jumped in. Everybody look sharp because the boss has jumped in and subscribed. They have been subscribed now for 2 months. He's still in his first trimester, of course. Nismo Nath, the big boss of Hoon Corp Esports. Good to have the boss along, Prince, but we've got to be on our best behaviour, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. We better shuffle all the drinks off the commentator's booth. We gotta sharpen our tires back up and look smart because when that boss walks in, you're gonna have those good first impressions, Trav.
Certainly do, and you've only got one chance at a first impression. You've only got one chance, some might say, here at the famous Mount Panorama circuit, because one mistake is magnified and then multiplied and then magnified some more, and it can cost you dearly is what I'm trying to say. But big shout out to Nismo for subscribing as well. EXO 2 for 1 at Sofa King Racing. Now it's working, says Nismo. And we've got 1 minute and 42 seconds remaining in this race. And I've got to say, I've got that feeling, Prince.
I feel a song coming on.
And Wheezy's going off because we are getting ready for this man. The leader is on the final lap. And
Wheezy, I think I lost my squeaker. I feel a song coming on.
And the fat lady has not quite sung yet. Can't say fat lady. What can we say, Prince, that won't offend people out there? But let me tell you, if he can just negotiate the next 6.2 kilometres, and he will be the first safety car in the history of humankind and mankind to win a race here at Bathurst. And boy, he's had everything thrown at him. He made an early pit stop, of course, but he's going to get this one done. But don't speak too early. If anyone casts their mind back to a very famous race many, many years ago, I think it was in Montreal, I think, when Murray Walker was talking about Nigel Mansell in the Williams, Prince, on the final lap, and the car broke down and before the final corner, and that was the end of his race. Glasso getting out of the way there. He was in a battle, wasn't he, with Saint Sim there, 11th and 12th respectively, but the time is counting down. And Jason Wilkinson now, he just needs to negotiate the famous Mount Panorama, the famous mountain, for one more time through the Dipper. 16, 17, 18 through Forest Elbow and down Conrod Straight for the final time. 3, 2, 1, 0. The lights are flashing. The champagne is getting ready. And managed to get around to watching Gran Turismo the other day after 6 months, believe it or not. I think I was the last person on earth to not watch that movie. But we like to drink beer, don't we, Chuck Norris? Because champagne is for the podium only. And this is what the safety car driven by Jason Wilkinson is going to experience. He's just run a bit wide there. Or is he hoping for... is he going to do some sort of formation finish? No, he comes across the line. Shawnee Fuller's beaten him to it, but unfortunately he's not on the lead lap, and he's finished the lap.
Get in my sack! Get in it!
As the dulcet tones of Chuck Norris yelling, "Get in my sack, the Christmas sack," come through my headset. But Sofa King in second, Sniper and Willstar. Wow, look at that. That was closer than anyone expected. I think a 10th between those two. And then we've got Hammer Time now coming down at a Conrod Straight. That was very close. I apologise to those two, Prince, because I've just missed that battle there. Getting excited about Jason finishing the race.
Yeah, that was a very close finish between Willstar and F1 Sniper there. I only just caught on to that, I think, just before you crossed over to it, Trev. But, you know, those guys were having a right old battle right to the line there. And Willstar taking out the purple lap of the race. He was quite quick all the way through. But as we see here, Hammer and Heat in the back of your screen there, making their way over to the checkered flag as our flag marshal eagerly waving that flag. The flares are going off. You know, the celebrations are starting to kick on, but we've still got drivers making it over the checkered flag.
Certainly do. Great work there, Chuck Norris. Super VT coming down Conrod Straight from last to 11.